My fellow citizens of all nations, why do we crave suffering? Let me explain this topic for you. There are different forms of suffering. There is suffering of music, when we listen to this music that reminds us of the suffering, or the music that might motivate us to maybe do something about the situation. And there are movies where the characters have to suffer a certain point, and after that we know that there might come the point of reward. When the suffering is stretched, like, we expect sort of a relief. And the most ancient form of suffering would be the imagination. There is a saying that we suffer mostly in our imagination, and in reality we don't suffer that much, but in our imagination we like to suffer much more than we would realistically suffer. So what makes suffering desirable, this form of suffering, and why do people crave it? First of all, everyone instinctively understands that path of least resistance is not necessarily the most rewarding path in life. Even if we were to end up in a top, we might think that we don't deserve it because it came too easily to us, or we just did not actually deserve it. Also, there is an example of a training where we understand that we have to train. We have to train hard to achieve our results, and it does not come easily. It doesn't come without suffering. It's not possible to avoid it. Imagine training your legs, for example, in a gym. It's hard. It's very uncomfortable, and you don't want to do it, but you are doing it, and people are doing it all the time, and they receive the reward as well for that. But let's not focus on the reward. Let's focus on the suffering itself. We instinctively understand that somehow the suffering creates the charak, and suffering has to be divided in the sense that there is a path of least resistance and the path of true growth and true challenges. Many people, for example, stay in their comfort zones in their entire life, never going out of that comfort zone, because there is this fear of what will happen. For example, if I leave this job and move to another job, what might happen? I am working here for a couple of years, I know everything here, I know everyone here, I know the situation here, I know what to expect here, but if I decide to take this leap forward, who knows what might happen? It might be uncomfortable, I might face challenges, and etc. There is this form of fear, but at the same time there is sort of admiration for the people that actually do. And this is what we do when we watch these movies or play the games, obviously the computer games. And gaming industry is a big industry these days. There are so many games, whether it will be Dead Space, whether it would be Days Gone, or whether it would be even GTA or Red Dead Redemption, or any other sort of game, whether there are the certain missions and challenges the player has to overcome. And there's players that play it for hundreds of and sometimes like more than 1,000 hours just to go do these missions and just go through this. And there is this feeling of, oh yeah, the suffering is temporary and it will become easier and easier and easier, and people actually enjoy it. In fact, almost any game we can think of does have the challenges in it, does have this part of suffering where you have to struggle a little bit before you can gain it, because without it would be pointless. If everything is given to you and you don't have to do anything for anything, yeah, from the personal point of view of a person that doesn't have anything, that's like, oh my god, give it to me. But at the same time, there's this feeling of, and so then what's, like, there is this saying that the journey is what brings us pleasure, and we have to take it as it is, as this process that helps us to develop. And let's not forget the great philosophical idea about what does not kill us simply makes us stronger. If you feel uncomfortable right now, or whatever it might be, just understand that, keep persisting. It's part of a process. It will become easy. Alright, just like for people that go to the gym and they made this their habit. For example, it is just as easy for them to go to the gym, to train, to be in shape, just like it would be for a person to not train, because they develop the habit. And at certain point, people that are into certain style of living, for them it's unimaginable. It's not realistic for them to live without just training, and part of who they are, and becomes part of them. The same for everything else, whether it would be doing reading or learning or challenging yourself. It's just everyday struggle, and every day you become better on it. And what does not kill us simply makes us stronger. And it's really difficult on that moment to think about that things, but it is really so. Sometimes we suffer far more in our imagination than in the reality. It is how it is. Just sometimes the attitude toward things makes all the difference. And there are extreme situations as well, but mostly our attitude toward things makes all the difference. Nothing is permanent. Joy, suffering, happiness, whatever it is, everything is temporary. And that makes it valuable, and that makes it temporary. That makes even that suffering temporary, because eventually it will end. And eventually it will. And realism of life, that no matter what it is, eventually all comes to end. And while we are here, let's live the type of life we want to live. You live only once. It should not be about just watching how only other people live while you don't, while you exist alone. That is not how we should be living. And craving suffering and craving discomfort and putting yourself out there. Yeah, it might be crazy, but you know what is also crazy? It's crazy that we are dying. We are dying all the time. Our clock is just going on and we are dying. And it's crazy. But we are dying. Our life is not guaranteed. Tomorrow we might cross the street and bus, and that's it. That could be our end. No one knows. Nothing is guaranteed in life. It would be better to suffer what has to be suffered, and at least not suffer in our imagination, because it is absolutely unnecessary. While the real suffering creates character, creates a person. And here's how it is. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in next video, which is coming soon.